Hello friends, how are you doing? Today is Wednesday the 15th of September and autumn has finally arrived and I am so extremely glad. I love summer and everything it's got to offer, but every year my heart is longing for autumn and all the coziness that comes with it. I have a very lovely cup of tea, spicy chai in case you were wondering, very much recommend. It tastes like autumn in a cup. So if you've been around my Bookstagram for a while, you probably have noticed that over the last month or so I've stopped posting reviews on my Instagram. Now, it's not because I stopped reading, but because I've decided to save them for this channel, which I've been meaning to create for the last 9 months or so, and this moment is finally here. So I'm really hoping that you're going to enjoy this content, and I am extremely glad that you're here and I can share all of my thoughts and this incredible journey with you. So let me just put down my cup. So for today I have these very lovely books to review and, well, let's just jump straight to it. The first book is the Spiderwick's Chronicles. I'm sure most of you have seen the film already. I actually had no clue that it was a book until about 4 months ago or so, and I received this copy in my mail from my lovely Bookster bestie, Lottie, I love you. It tells a story of a mother and her 3 children, Jared, Simon and Mallory, who moved into a very old house left for them by their aunt, who apparently went crazy. And as they move into the house, Jared, who's one of the twin brothers, he absolutely hates it. He wants to go back home. He doesn't want to stay away from his father. And then one day, they realize that something weird is happening in the house, and they used one of these lifts, dumbwaiters, I think they're called, and they found a very old secret office. In this office they found a book of it was a field guide which was hidden away. They also find a creature in a house who does not really enjoy the fact that they're in the house either. It's mostly because they by mistake destroyed their house, but regardless. The book actually ends within 20 minutes of the film, so there's not a lot that happens throughout this book. However, it's got incredible pictures, is amazingly written, and it's honestly one of the best children's books that I've ever read. The second book I read was Kim Jeong, born in 1982. It is a book set in Korea about a woman who was born there and tells the story of her growing up and struggling with many different things within the patriarchy of Korea. It all starts from the moment she was born, when she's not a son but a daughter. It goes on about the school uniforms, who has to clean in a house, and then finally the fact that everybody expects her to just drop her job and take care of the child. And the thing about this book is, within 164 pages, they've managed to include so many different references to statistics and researchers that actually show you that this really did happen. Maybe not necessarily this particular person, although she's any and every woman in Korea. And I think the most important thing for me is I grew up in a completely different country in a Western world, and I could relate to this book on so many levels, which is absolutely ridiculous if you think about that. The book is written so beautifully and it engages you so much. I think I read it within one evening, and the ending is just heartbreaking, and I actually needed to take a break after that because I kept thinking about this book for a very long time. If you enjoy books about people from different countries and you want to understand different countries and how they work, I highly recommend this particular book. The third book that I read was I, Robot by Isaac Asimov, and this whole book relies on 3 basic laws of robotics. The first one stating that robots have to protect humans, the second one says that robots have to obey human orders, and then the third one states that robots have to protect themselves unless that would cause harm to humans. And the whole book is a collection of short stories told from a perspective of the same person, and as you can imagine, every single story is explores faults within the laws and how defective the robots are meant to be, and then it tells you what actually happened. Now, the book is not bad. I think the first chapter was a very heavy inspiration for Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, because it uses very similar concepts. Now, as a person who loves sci-fi as a genre, I actually struggled with this book a lot. And it's not because it was badly written or it wasn't engaging. I'm just not a big fan of robots and programming. And sadly, as I was into this book for the first half, the second half was a big struggle for me because I already learned the pattern of each story and I knew what was going to happen basically, or I knew what law was broken and how it was going to be fixed. And as soon as you get a grasp of the general pattern of each stories, you can't really get surprised by any of it. So in the end, it was just quite disappointing, really. And the last book, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. It tells a story from a perspective of a 31-year-old Kathy who grew up in Hirsham School with her friends Tommy and Ruth. She goes on through her life at different stages, explaining many different things that happened to her and her friends. At some point, you realise that they're all referred to as donors or carers, and it's moving into a very weird dystopian future. Now, I really liked this book. I think it must be one of my favourites of the ones that I've read this year, and I can highly recommend it. The writing is beautiful, it's very Nobel Prize-like. It's a story about friendship, growing up, coming to understanding that your life on this earth has a specific purpose and you've been created, or you're here for a reason and you have to understand this reason, and there's not exactly anything you can do about that. And it's honestly a very bittersweet, it's a bittersweet book and a bittersweet story, and the ending was just heartbreaking. So I very much recommend this book. I would like to take you to my kitchen to show you how to make a beautiful carrot cake that is just perfect for this autumnal weather.